Hey folks, it's Zach with Phil again, and as I promised, I'm gonna do the New Japan Pro Wrestling Invasion Attack 2016 review now. Well, I really missed that this event was gonna be held on April 10th, so well, it's not like the WWE Network, like you look and oh yeah, there's the next pay-per-view. I don't look into New Japan World that often, and the site I use most for my wrestling infos, cagematch.de or Bleacher Report, WWE. There's not much about New Japan there, so I often, if I don't really look for it, I often miss when the big events are going to be held. So sorry that it's about a month late, the review. I'm gonna do Wrestling Dontaku in the next days. I've already watched part of the event, and yeah, I'm trying to stay a little bit more on time with the next big events. Anyway, New Japan Invasion Attack 2016. We all know New Japan, and so we know that the opener for the normal big events, not like the huge Wrestle Kingdom show, is rather, it's there. We have the Bullet Club, Bad Luck Fale and Yujiro Takahashi versus Juice Robinson and Ryosuke, whatever, Taguchi. And well, this match lasts about 4 minutes, so there's not much to say about it. It is meant to look the Bullet Club more dominant, so well, I'm not really gonna rate this because it's about 4 minutes and they wanted the rest of the Bullet Club on the card too, so well, there you have it. Short, very short opener, not much to say about it. And the following 6-man tag team match between Jushin Thunder Liger, Satoshi Kojima, Yuji Nagata and Chaos, represented by Katsushi Sakuraba, Toru Yano and Yoshihashi. Well, it's your, if you have watched one or two of my New Japan reviews, you know, or if you have watched some New Japan events, you know, there's almost always a 6-man tag match on there with a few legends, sometimes a few newcomers, and in the end these matches all follow the same theme. It's just, well, we want to have the guys on the card. We have to put the guys on the card, so well, we're gonna do it in a multi-man tag team match. It doesn't mean that much. It's not long enough to really give everybody a chance to really shine. So it's another match that's just there to put some guys on the card and present them because the fans like them. It's not bad, but if you haven't watched it, you haven't missed anything. Now on to the more important matches of the night. The first is the tag team match between Chaos, represented by Hiroki Goto and Tomohiro Ishii, against the Los Ingobernables de Japón, represented by Bushi and Evil. And I gotta admit, the Los Ingobernables, when they first appeared at Wrestle Kingdom, I thought, well, yeah, like that's gonna help Naito and the other guys get anywhere. Well, Naito is a great guy. Bushi and Evil, yeah, they're not completely incompetent, I thought. So, well, whatever. But in this match, Hiroki Goto and Tomohiro Ishii, I always like to see them. And the Los Ingobernables, well, they really got me here because it was a nice match. Sure, the Los Ingobernables don't always play fair. Well, that's kind of their stuff, because it's a stable that originated in Mexico in the CMLL promotion, I think. Yeah, it should be CMLL, and that's their Japanese spin-off. And this time, Bushi and Evil really got me because it was a nice match. I was really surprised, and well, it was fun to watch. And it really, even if the Los Ingobernables lost the match, they didn't appear weak. It's one of the first matches I really thought, well, Bushi and Evil, they're not just the guys who interfere on Naito's behalf. There are guys who actually can go in the ring with this gimmick. And, well, so nice match. Fun to watch. Nothing great, but hey, it's an undercard match, and for that, it's something WWE should look into so they could pull off equally good undercard matches. Don't be surprised, I have to look into my notes at times. So, the next match was the IWGP Jr Heavyweight Tag Team title match, and it's the first title match, and from now onwards, every match is a title match. It's like Night of Champions with the WWE, just with mostly title matches. So, anyway, we have Matt Sydal and Ricochet as the Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. They won it, I don't want to lie here, back at Wrestle Kingdom or one of the New Beginning events. And, well, Roppongi Vice, Beretta and Rocky Romero, who at times came so close to winning the title themselves. And with the Junior Heavyweight Tag Team division, it's very entertaining, but looking at the depth of the match, the story behind it, they're mostly spot fests, especially if it's a triple threat or four-way match. And, well, of course, with these two teams, you have the spots. You have lots of spots, but it's not your typical senseless spot fest to just get the pops because, whoa, holy shit. It doesn't tell that much of a deep story, but in the end there's more to it than just spots. And, well, so we have a nice finish phase where it really gets exciting who's going to win this thing. And in the end, Roppongi Vice won the title. Well, why not? I'm going to spoiler Wrestling Dontaku here for those who haven't seen it or haven't looked up the results. Matt Sydal and Ricochet won the title back at Wrestling Dontaku. So why give Roppongi Vice the championship? I don't know. But anyway, the match was good. And one benefit of reviewing an event a little bit late is you always see the Meltzer ratings by Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter. And 4.25 stars seems a little bit much for this match. It was a good match, no doubt about it, but not great. And he seems to really like the Junior Heavyweight Tag Division of New Japan. Well, I would give it about, I gotta look here, maybe 3.5, 3.75 stars. Was a good match, but not that great, or as great as Dave Meltzer thought, at least in my opinion. Anyway, the next match was the match of the night, and we had the Junior Heavyweight Tag Team title. Now we have the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title. And Kushida, well, he really fought hard to get the title, to be the champion. And he's a seasoned veteran. Well, not exclamation marks, but he's a exclamation marks. I don't really know. I'm no native speaker, so fuck it. He's a more or less seasoned veteran, especially in Japan. And then you have Will Ospreay. I don't really know. I watch the events in Japanese and how they pronounce the name. If that's always correct, I don't know. Will Ospreay, British or English, former backyarder. I'm not really on track with the European wrestling scene at the moment, so I haven't heard of him before. But obviously he's the new guy in New Japan, and he gets a title shot right away, which is quite an accomplishment. But that's the story of the match here. You have Kushida, who has fought hard for the title, who's a great technician and a pretty decent, pretty good high flyer. And you have Will Ospreay, the new kid in town. Well, and of course, he wants to be the champion and he wants to prove himself to the crowd, to Kushida, to himself maybe even. And that's the point here. And it makes for a great story in the ring that Kushida dominates with his technique. Ospreay always gets in his high-flying spots and his high-flying abilities until there's a counter in which Ospreay hurts his arm. And I don't think he legitimately hurt his arm. It's part of the story because afterwards Kushida attacks the arm. He's focused on the arm with some heavy-looking offense. I gotta look here in my notes. What was it? He jumps into a cross arm breaker from the second or top rope and drags Ospreay down, and that really looked like it hurt a lot, a real lot. So stuff like that, and submission holds, of course, and Ospreay always comes back and he fights so hard to stay in the match, to prove himself worthy, and well, in the end, of course, he did. He lost the match, but well, look at the New Japan cards that followed. He's on there. And the Best of Super Juniors tournament, I'm gonna do a little bit or a little preview of the tournament soon. I think he's in there, and well, he really deserved the spot because he fought hard, and with this good to great in-ring action, the psychology behind it, the story behind it, really the match of the night, and one of the best junior heavyweight matches I've seen in quite a while, or you know what I mean, in quite a while. So great match of the night, awesome, watch it. The next, that's a little bit the Never Openweight 6-man tag team title. Wow. Who thought of that, man? It's horrible to speak that out loud. And looking at the matches, well, they weren't horrible, but well, the title has not that much prestige, and well, it's like every second match or every match the title changes hands, and well, somehow it landed in the hands of Kenny Omega, Matt Jackson, and Nick Jackson, the Bullet Club. And Hiroshi Tanahashi, Michael Elgin, and Yoshitatsu want to challenge those guys for the title. And the title, as I said, doesn't hold much prestige, and the matches for it were, let's say, a little bit subpar thus far. Until now, because this match was good. You have the Bullet Club playing the cocky heels with the spray and, oh, we're so great, we're so awesome. They're always taunting their opponents. And then there's a hot tag build-up with Hiroshi Tanahashi, who gets dominated. Later on with same thing with Yoshitatsu, until the good guys can strike back and beat Bullet Club with their own weapons, the spray, and suddenly they are in charge, and it goes back and forth. And in the end, after a top rope powerbomb, the good guys, the face team around Tanahashi, wins the title. Little spoiler again, they lose it at Wrestling Dontaku too. Back to the Bullet Club, of course. So that was a pretty good match, and the best match for the Never Openweight 6-man tag team title thus far. We'll see what the future holds in store for the title. They really need to give the title some high-profile matches, some good matches like this, in order to make it look prestigious. Otherwise, it's just, well, the New Japan totally random undercard guys who have to appear on the card, and whom we don't want to put into more important or really important matches, championship, like something like that. That title would be as handy as the Never Openweight 6-man tag team title. Well, For that one, we have the Never Openweight title. That's a lot easier to pronounce. Katsuyori Shibata, tough guy, killing machine. Not nice to be kicked by him. He's the champion, and his challenger is Hiroyoshi Tenzan, a real seasoned veteran who mostly appears alongside Satoshi Kojima as Tenkoji nowadays. And back in the day, of course, he was cool dude. Nowadays, he's more like, yeah, he just belongs on a New Japan card, and he delivers decent matches and some good performances, but nothing you really, or nobody you really, think about when it comes to solo titles. And here he is against Katsuyori Shibata. And they made a really good job of making him look like he's a real threat, because Shibata, with his very stiff offense, and of course he can kick the shit out of Hiroyoshi Tenzan for 10 minutes, because the Tenzan is a little bit too old to be kicked like that throughout the whole match. So he dominates, but the good effect here is Tenzan looks very good in this match. He looks very strong. He looks like he's still got it. And without making Shibata look like a weakling, something the WWE also often fails to do, making the loser gain something from the match. Because Tenzan really showed that he still can go, even if the match, of course, was a little bit booked in his favor to do so. He dominates Shibata a lot, but in the end makes for a good match, surprisingly good match, and well, shows Tenzan still can do more than just tag team or 8-man tag matches and still deliver. Well, onwards to the IWGP Tag Team title match, and the Guerrillas of Destiny, Tama Tonga and Tanga Loa. I mean, whoever thought of the name Tanga Loa or Tangaroa or whatever? I mean, it's Camacho from the WWE, former WWE superstar. Tanga Loa. Well, the Guerrillas of Destiny, part of the Bullet Club, they go against Great Bear Shield, Togi Makabe, and Tomoaki Honma, who won the titles from Carl Anderson and good old Doc Gallows. And I think they were meant to be interim champions because, well, with Anderson and Gallows leaving, well, they couldn't just drop the title and say, well, we dropped the titles too. Guerrillas of Destiny, here you have it. Would be a little bit too easy. So, of course, the faces won the title. The old tough guys, because they're both tough. And yeah, well, Guerrillas of Destiny won the match. So the titles are back in the hands of the Bullet Club, wherever that leads. But the match itself, well, it was a tag team match. That's about what you can say, or one can say, about this match, because it wasn't in any way bad. And yeah, well, but there wasn't the chemistry that Great Bear Shield had with Gallows and Anderson, because Tama Tonga and Tanga Loa just don't have the chemistry and the charisma to really mix it up. So it wasn't a bad match, wasn't a good match, it just was there, and well, okay. It was okay for an okay way to have Great Bear Shield lose the titles back to the Bullet Club. Now, the most important match of the night, the IWGP Heavyweight Title. Kazuchika Okada, great guy, totally underutilized in TNA back then, came back. Everybody thought, well, okay, new kid in town, or nice to see the young lion back. And suddenly he wins the title from Tanahashi, and he's been on a roll since then. And we have Tetsuya Naito, who, well, he was on the verge of becoming a major main event player in New Japan, but somehow just didn't add up in the end. Then he was injured, I think it was, and well, he was back. didn't get the crowd as excited as the bookers maybe thought he would. And at Wrestle Kingdom he debuted with the Los Ingobernables de Japón. I think it was at Wrestle Kingdom. Could have been a little while before that. That's the first time I saw the stable. And yeah, he's been on a roll since then too, because at Wrestle Kingdom I thought, what bullshit gimmick. And now it really adds to his character to build this heelish persona. And suddenly he appears like a legitimate main eventer again. And of course this match, Naito, he gets in every cheap shot he can get in. The Los Ingobernables, Bushi and Evil always interfere on his behalf. So it's mostly Naito dominating Okada, who always has his hope spots and his comebacks, but doesn't really get anywhere. And when he does, it's close to the finish phase, and suddenly Seiya Sanada returns. Or let's say a guy with a skull mask appears, saves Naito's ass, so to speak. Well, there was a ref bump before, so we cannot even say that for sure, but he interferes on Naito's behalf and demasks himself, and it's Seiya Sanada, another guy who was heavily underutilized in TNA, went to Mexico, and now is part of the Los Ingobernables de Japón stable. After that, luckily it didn't end here. After that, it's still a little bit back and forth, and in the end, after a nice counter sequence with the finishers, Tetsuya Naito gets the win and is the new IWGP Heavyweight Champion. And of course Okada will try everything to get the title back, but for now that's absolutely okay with me, and it's nice to see Naito finally as the IWGP Heavyweight Champion. And not only that he is the champion, it feels like he deserved it. And I hope he has a nice run, and if he drops the title, well, against Tanahashi, against Okada, I'm sure it will be a great match. This one was great too. Not as good as the Junior Heavyweight Title match, but, well, you can't always get everything. But to sum up, Invasion Attack was a great event, as often with New Japan. I mean, the first two matches, well, they are to get guys on the card who the crowd at times still wants to see, who don't have that much important stuff to do at the moment. And the IWGP Tag Team Title match, that was not bad, but it's a little bit, well, it was there. The rest of the matches were either good or even great, so if you are, like me, sick of always getting angry at WWE bookers, watch New Japan. It's a whole different story. You have good to great wrestling, and you never get angry about the booking because somehow they just pull it off. So, hopefully, you'll tune in next time. I'm going to do a little preview for the Best of the Super Juniors tournament, and in the next days, I'm sure I can upload the Wrestling Dontaku review, both in German and English. So, until then, have fun. Well, where is it? Here. So long.